Hello everyone, good day. My name is Ronali Roda from the College of Education, taking up the course Bachelor of Technology in Livelihood Education, major in Industrial Arts from the Cebu Technological University. For today's video, I'll be having a demo teaching, and this is an online mode class. And my topic is all about reading comprehension. So without any further ado, let's start. Hello everyone, good day. Welcome again to our online mode class. So before we are going to start in our discussion for today. So allow me to share my screen to you guys. So now, once again, I am your teacher for today in your English, and I am teacher Ronali Rada. So again and again, teacher Ronali Rada is back to class. Before we are going to formally start our class, we will be having first our prayer for today. So I want everyone to please bow down your head and feel the presence of our Lord. Okay?
Please bow your heads and let us pray. Dear Jesus, please show me how to spend this day sharing your love in every way. Help me to be kind to everyone, to play and laugh and have lots of fun, shining your light and giving your grace, sharing your joy with a smile on my face. Angel of God, my guardian dear, to whom God's love commits me here. Ever this day, be at my side, to light and guard, to rule and guide. Amen.
So everyone, I want to ask you to open your camera for us for me to see you if you are still there, and if is everyone alright. So okay pa ba? So,
Yes, ma'am.
Now, since you are now opening your camera, I want everyone to find a place which is that you can move, because before we are going to formally start our discussion for today, we will be having a energizer so that everyone will have an energy to participate in my class. So please, everyone, stand up and let's have this. Okay. So now, everyone, I want you to stand up and let's dance. So now we're done. So hopefully everyone nangaon na ba ang tanan? So now, without any further ado, we are going to start our class for today. And the content of this for today's class is the reading comprehension. Then I'll be discussing you all about what is a reading comprehension, what are the types, the skills, and everything. And then I'll be giving you a short story, and we have to read it. And afterwards, I'll be giving you also an activity, then assignment. Then that's all, and that will end our discussion for today. So now let's go on. For the objectives of our class for today is the teacher will explain and discuss the reading comprehension to the pupils so that they will have a further understanding about how to read and to comprehend. Discuss the different subtopic and its importance, then giving them the time frame to let them know what and how reading comprehension important or how the students can benefit from this. And lastly, at the end of this lesson, pupils will learn something new in this matter. So now, reading comprehension. So anyone have familiar already this? So I know that everyone, this is not the first time you hear this word. So now, let's go on. So, definition of reading comprehension. So, reading comprehension is the ability to read text, process it, and understand its meaning. So, of course, since we are talking comprehension, which is we are going to comprehend, and in reading comprehension, we are able to read any text, and while we are reading it, we are going to process everything and understand what is the meaning of that text or of that statement that was being shown to you. So it relies on two interconnected abilities. So word reading or being able to decode the symbols on the page, and language comprehension, which is being able to understand the meaning of the words and sentences. So that is what the reading comprehension all about. So language comprehension is being understand what is the meaning of that word or that sentence. So that is how reading comprehension will go on. So now we'll be proceed to components of reading comprehension. So before that, I wanna ask everyone if my screen visible or okay ba?
Yes,
Makita,
ma'am.
yeah. So now, the first components of reading comprehension is scanning. So here in scanning, the reader quickly scuttles across sentences to get to a particular piece of information. So when we see scuttle, so this means the reader will skip into another sentence. Like for example, nagbasa siya and then it is not like important or not that useful. So the reader will skip to another sentence and dito siya mangita og mga words nga that is useful for him or her na if ever na siya gipangita. So, scanning involves the technique of rejecting or ignoring irrelevant information from the text to locate a specific piece of the information. So, mato kung giingon, so scanning is siya gi-scan ang mga text, and then if ever there is a words or irrelevant words that is what niya needed, so mo skip to siya sa another words or another sentence para ato niya makita those words nga iyahang mga gipangita. So the next component is intensive reading. So intensive reading is far more time consuming than skimming and scanning, as it needs the reader's attention to detail. So here in intensive reading, so this is time consuming. It's because the reader needs to understand and give a full attention in what did he or she reads. So dapat detailed iyahang mga nabasa, kay ganahan siya detailed information from that statement, sentences, or anything. So it involves a close reading that aims at the accuracy of comprehension. So here the reader has to understand the meaning of each and every word. So no, grabe ang intensive reading. So kailangan jud niya mahibaw-an kung unsa man gyud meaning, unsa man gyud mga buot pasabot on that particular word, on that sentences. So mao na siya ang intensive reading. So the next one is extensive reading. So kung naay intensive, naasay extensive. So now, extensive reading lays more emphasis on fluency and less on accuracy. It usually involves reading for pleasure and is more of an out-of-classroom activity. So, most likely, ang kaning extensive reading, so, from the word ex, so, outside. So, now, it is highly unlikely for readers to take up the extensive reading of text they do not like. So, that reader kay same as scanning, na sila mga words nga ilahal silang escape if they don't like that word, and less on accuracy. So, mas dali siya, and it involves reading for pleasure, and it is more of out of the classroom activity. So, maani ka ng possible, or maani mostly or usually buhat ni extensive reading in for the components of reading comprehension. Now, we'll have to proceed on skimming. So, skimming, sometimes referred to as just. So, just reading. So, means going through the text to grasp the main idea. So, yes, given na ang meaning sa just. So, just means the essence, the real point of that particular word, the real point of that particular sentence, or in that story. So here, the reader doesn't pronounce each and every word of the text, but focuses their attention on the main theme or the core of the text. So, mao na ang buhat ni reader. So, di na need niya nga kailangan i-pronounce niya nga word of tarong, and di na niya kailangan basahon ang every text on that sentences. But, all they have to do is dapat i-focus nila ang ilahang goal, which is, and unsa nga theme na asa ilahang ginabasa, and diha na nila makuha ang mga basihan. So, examples of skimming are reading magazines or newspaper and searching for a name in a telephone directory. So, these are the good examples in skimming. So, yes, as you have observed, even you man siguro, diba? When you are going to kanang mulantaw og mga magazines, newspaper, diba? Adto naman gid mo dito asa tong mga kadtong unsa di ini siya, unsa gid ibot ko ani niya, diba? Di mo mag-focus ug unsa mga pronounce ana niya, unsa lay mga kanang unsay mga buot ibot ana. But all you have to do is you are going to go to the iyahang kanang bot ipasabot nganong na kana siya nga story na ingon ana. So dito na kadidto imuha yung kuhaon unsay kanang core of that text. Next, comprehension. So in comprehension is the complex cognitive process readers use to understand what they have read, and then vocabulary development and instruction play a critical role in comprehension. So of course, when we are when in comprehension, it is important that readers should understand what they have read. Kay, so what's the purpose on reading that particular statement on that story kung wala laman di ay. So it's more on dapat if imuhang basahon dapat sabtun sad nimo kung unsay buot pasabot ana, di ba? So now, vocabulary development and instruction play a critical role in comprehension. Yes, this is very important rule in comprehension. It's because when murag na ka mga stock diha in your kanangkuan knowledge, then you will understand, you will definitely easily understand what does that word means, or what does all that sentences, how are you going to pronounce those words. So that is comprehension. Now let's go on for the 4 main reading skills. So there are 4 main reading skills. So the first one is the decoding. So in decoding, this is a vital reading skills that acts as a foundation for other skills. So it relies upon early language skills learned through use of phonics. So, since the decoding is, well, you are kanang reading the story, the sentences, or that word, nag-decode na imuhang utok na dito, yan ang i-process everything in your mind. So, mo na siya pasabot sa decoding. Then, when we see phonics, this is for example, teach how to read and write on alphabetical or alphabet. So this is to teach you how to read and write. So now let's move on to fluency. So in fluency is useful skill that speeds up a child's reading and understanding of text. So it's also important for when they encounter irregular words like of the which can't be sounded out. So like for example, like in fluency, this is kanang you are good enough to read that word, you are good enough to pronounce that word. So mao na siya ang fluency. So murag dili na ka mag duha-duha to pronounce that word. It's because you know already how to read or pronounce that word. So I don't know if anyone is already fluent in reading books. So hopefully everyone is kanang gani more on kanang books sila para easy dali ra para nila to get what does this reading comprehension all about. So mo ni siya. So if ever you are, then now you know unsay mga nabuhat nimo while reading those stories, those statements that you have been already reading in even in the internet. Like if you are searching some stories, diba? Mga novels, and some of you still are reading novels nowadays. So mo na siya ang meaning sa fluency. So fluency, useful skill that speeds up a child's reading and understanding of text. Now, we'll have to go on with vocabulary. Children need to understand most of the words in a text to understand what they are reading. So they need to understand. Di kay magbasa-basa ra ka diha, pero you don't know unsa man debut pasabot ana. So while you are reading, dapat imuhasan sabtun unsa na siya. Key to this understanding is having a strong vocabulary, which is turn creates good reading comprehension. So if naagib kay insakto nga mga kanangkuan mga good mga kuan sa in your mind, like mga kuan sa mga na-stuck na them, and then kanang more in books ka, then possible you are one of these. So, next, we are going to move on with understanding sentences. So, learning about how sentences are formed isn't just useful for writing. So, here in understanding every sentence, so while you are reading, so you need to also know how does these sentences being formed. So, you have to understand nga naman na ingon ani ang sentences, nga nung kani may buot pasabot ani nga sentence. So, knowing how ideal links with another with sentences helps with reading as well. So, being able to connect the sentences together easily to understand their meaning increase reading fluency. So, naagihapon din si fluency bisan asa makita nato si fluency and reading comprehension because this is one of the main reading skills. So, mana siya ang buot pasabot sa 4 main reading skills. So, I want everyone nga will listen para you will learn something new for today's discussion. So now, since we are done with our components of reading comprehension and the 4 main reading skills, so we will be having an activity for today. So, hindi na tayo maglangay-langay na kay since we are having online class and I know some of you are using data, so kalas og load, and I want everyone to participate in our activity. So, this activity, I will be showing you a short story and I will read that short story, then you also should read. So, while I am reading, you have to listen and read this story also. So, now, the title of this story, the short story that I have is The Tale of Pepper Rabbit. So this is by Beatrix Potter, F. Warney, and C. So now, we'll have to start reading this short story so that madali na taghumano para di kayo kala sa load. So, yes. The Tale of Pepper Rabbit. So once upon a time, there were 4 little rabbits, and their names were Flopsy, Mopsy, Cottontail, and Pepper. So, they lived with their mother in a sandbank underneath the root of a very big pear tree. So now, my dears, said old Mrs. Rabbit one morning, you may go into fields or down the lane, but don't go into Master McGregor's garden. Your father had accident there. He was put in a pie by Mr. McGregor. Now run along and don't get into mischief. I am going out. So, kanina during line, this is their mother nga nagsulti sila nga they are not allowed to go to McGregor's garden kay the last time because of McGregor, their father was died. It's because maybe nanguha sila mga pagkaon kay it's na may garden si McGregor. So, na ay mga carrots, mga cabbages, and then kana biya ang ginakuan sa mga rabbit. So, that's why Mother Pepper do not allow their children to go to Master McGregor's garden. So now, then old Mrs. Rabbit took a basket and her umbrella to the baker. So, nagkuha siya, matay ka nang ginabilin sa iyahang mga anak since mulakaw man siya. She bought a loaf of brown bread and 5 currant buns. Flopsy, Mopsy, and Cottontail, who were good little bunnies, went down the lane to gather blackberries. But Pepper, who was very naughty, ran straight away to Mr. McGregor's garden and squeezed under the gate. So, gahi mag-ulo si para but dito siya nipadung sa kang McGregor nga gate. So, Murag na siya intention nga manguha og mga pagkaon dito. First, he ate some lettuces and some French beans. So, diba, dito na siya, nanguha na siya dito. And then, he ate some radishes. And then, feeling rather sick, he went to look for some parsley. But, Mr. McGregor was on his hands and knees planting out young cabbages. But he jumped up and ran after Peter, waving a rake and calling out, "Stop, thief." So, nakitaan man niya si Peter. So, iyang gigukod. Then, nigingnan niya nga kanang stop daw. So, Peter was most dreadfully frightened. He rushed all over the garden, for he had forgotten the way back to the gate. So, sa iyahang kahadlok, so nakalimot siya asa siya agi for him to skip that garden. So nakalimot siya asa to ang agianan sa gate. He lost one of his shoes among the cabbages and the other shoe amongst the potatoes. After losing them, he ran on 4 legs and went faster, so that I think he might have got away altogether if he had not unfortunately run into a gooseberry net and got caught by the large buttons on his jacket. It was blue jacket with brass buttons quite new. So Peter gave himself up for lost and shed big tears. So naghilak na siya kay lagi nawa na siya o siya kabawasa siya mo agi kay nakalimot siya agi anan pa dong sa gate. But his sobs were overheard by some friendly sparrows who flew into him in great excitement and implored him to exert himself. Mr. McGregor came up with a save which he intended to pat upon the top of Peter, but Peter wiggled out just in time, so leaving his jacket behind him and rushed into the tall shade and jumped into a can. It would have been for a while. Nawala akong screen. So, let's proceed. So, it would have been a beautiful thing to hide in. So, dito siya, dagan siya, dito siya nilukso sa, and nasod siya sa kanang kan. And then, he think nga maunto siya ang good place nga dapat siya mo tago. But Mr. McGregor was quite sure that Peter was somewhere in that tall shade, perhaps hidden underneath a flower patch. He began to turn them over carefully, looking under each. So, yahan ng mga gipang split na niya ang mga butang dito para lang yun makita niya si Peter. Presently, Peter sneezed. "Katrichu!" So Mr. McGregor was after him in no time and tried to put his foot upon Peter, who jumped out of a window, upsetting 3 plants. The window was too small for McGregor and he was tired of running after Peter. So, jump siya into window, but then the window is too small for McGregor to kanang kuan agi on that window. That's why marag na wala siya sa kuan ni Peter. So, perhaps hidden underneath a flower pot, he began to turn them over carefully, looking under each. So now, Peter sat down to rest. He was out of breath and trembling with fright, and he had not the least idea which way to go. Also, he was very dumb with sitting in that con. So, after a time, he began to wander about, going leppity, not very fast, and looking all around. He found a door in a wall, but it was locked, and there was no room for a fat little rabbit to squeeze underneath. So, nakakita siya door, but then it was locked, so wala siya makita nga rooms nga pwede niya kataguan. So, an old mouse was running in and out over the stone doorstep, carrying peas and beans beans to her family in the wood. So Peter asked her the way to the gate. So nakakita siya kanang mouse, and then he asked that mouse asa ang agianan sa padung sa gate, but she had such a large tea in her mouth that she could not answer, since the old mouse bringing some peas and beans. So wala siya natubag sa kanang mouse, kay kanang nag-carry man siya og kanang peas and beans, and then using the mouse man. She only shook her head at him. Peter began to cry. Then he tried to find his way straight across the garden, but he became more and more puzzled. Presently, he came to a pond where Mr. McGregor filled his water cans. A white cat was staring at some goldfish. She sat very, very still, but now and then the tip of her tail twitched as if it were alive. Peter thought it best to go away without speaking to her. He had heard about cats from his cousin, little Benjamin Bunny. Because my screen, I think it's not working right now. So, yes. So, let's go back to the story. So, he went back towards to the tall shed, but suddenly, quite close to him, he heard the noise of a who, reach, scratch, scratch, screech. Peter scattered underneath the bushes, but presently, as nothing happened, he came out and climbed upon a wheelbarrow and peeped over. The first thing he saw was Mr. McGregor hoeing onions. So, nakita na sa niya si Mr. McGregor. His back was turned towards Peter, and beyond him was the gate. So, Peter got down very quietly off the wheelbarrow and started running as fast as he could go along a straight walk behind some blackthorn bushes. Mr. McGregor caught sight of him at the corner. So, murag na bantayan ni McGregor, but Peter did not care. So, gibaliwala ra ni Peter. He slipped underneath the gate and was safe at last in the wood outside the garden. Mr. McGregor hung up the little jacket and the shoes for a scarecrow to frighten the blackbirds. So, Mr. Patterson never stopped running or looked behind him till he got home to the big fir tree. So, he was kanang padung na, since nakagawas na siya sa gate, so wala siya lingi-lingi pagdagan padung sa ilaha para lang siya makabalik sa iyang ginapuy-an. So, he was so tired that he plopped down upon the nice, soft, and sand on the floor for the rabbit hole and shut his eyes. His mother was busy cooking. She wondered what he had done with his clothes. It was the second little jacket and pair of shoes that Peter had lost in a fortnight. I am sorry to see that Peter was not very well during the evening. His mother put him back to bed and made some chamomile tea, and she gave a dose of it to Peter. 1 tablespoonful to be taken at bedtime, but Flopsy, Mopsy, and Cottontail had bread and milk and blackberries for supper, diba? Lesson learned ni Peter, kaya sa iyang kadingaw, sa iyang kagahi, dito man siya na dito sa garden, so kuan siya, nagkasakit siya afterwards. So, that was the end of our short story for today. And then, okay class, are you still there?
Yes, ma'am!
So, I have already read the short story. I hope that everyone follows me, and I hope that while I am reading, nagbasa sad mo diha so that ma-comprehend, masabtan ninyo kung unsa ang story all about. So, the story all about gay for rabbits, and the main character was si Peter, who is very naughty. So, gahig ulos no? So, bisan giingnan na siya sa iyang mother rabbit nga they are not allowed to get out and go to McGregor's garden. But then, iya yung gibuhat no. So, sa iyang kadingag, sa iyang kagahig so, moto ang naitabo niya. He was kanang almost na trapped in McGregor's garden. Then, when he got home, si Pepper felt sick. Okay. So now, since we are done, I am done reading the story, I want that everyone should participate in this activity. So since I am done reading this story, I'll be giving you 5 minutes to review, to take down notes, the important part of this story. I know that everyone take a screenshot all of the things that I have discussed. Did you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so very good since we are taking screenshots. So naara mo'y makuha nga notes from this discussion today. But don't worry, I'll be sending you all of these PowerPoint so that not mo'y mga tunan for the next activities that will be given to you. So now, since we are done with our this story, so I'll be giving you some activity. But before that, I'll be giving you 5 minutes to review and read back. O ganahan ninyo basahon, then ganahan mo kanang sabto ninyo ang story, then you can. So 5 minutes, I'll be giving you 5 minutes. So 5 minutes start right now. Everyone should review para maka-answer mo what are the following questions that they are being asked. So I have a few questions after these 5 minutes will be showed in the screen. So please go review on the story that was I have presented to you. So if you have go on this question, then it's a good thing para namin ma-review diha. tayo sa mga hatagan ng pag-update. So, those students na wala. So, Of course, I know everyone is question, then it's a good thing so everyone nakabawag yung saray discussion natin for today. Okay? So, everyone, it's almost done. I will tell you almost done. We have only 1 minute and 30 seconds right now, so please do review. So now, we'll proceed to our activity for today. So, here is the activity. I want you to take a screenshot of this so that you can answer right away. So, after answering this activity, I want you to pass it in our GC. So, everyone is in our GC, no? So, pass it in our GC. So, you will be given a short period of time to answer this activity since I have given you already 5 minutes to review. So, hopefully, easy for you to answer this activity na, diba?